January the 11th, 2021. The Heritage Preservation Board is now called to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Milford,
Here.
here. Mr. Sprecher,
Here.
Ms. Ryan, Brzezinski.
Okay. Now can we have the public comments, Pat?
Yes, public comment. You can call for. I don't see anyone here. So next is approval of minutes.
I couldn't hear her.
So that public comment is just general public comment, and Pat was saying there's nobody here to give public
Okay.
comment, so we can move on to approval
Okay,
of the
and we're
minutes.
going to go for, is there a motion to approve the minutes of December the 7th, 2020? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a
to
second?
Approve the,
Roll call.
Mr. Sprecher,
Yes.
Ms. Hallett,
yes,
Ms. Milford,
Yes. Okay, now we're going to go to the organizational meeting part of it. It is time to elect a new chair and vice chair. Is there anyone who wants to make a motion for the chair or nominate a chairperson?
can we?
You can nominate yourself if you'd like.
No, thank you. Can we? I nominate, is it a 1 year or?
Yes, I can do it again.
Yeah, it's an annual position.
Well,
It's for 1 year.
okay, number 1 and number 2.
Well, we'd have to do them in turn, so at this point, we would call for any nominations for the chair
Okay.
position.
And any nomination for the chairperson, she wants to nominate me.
And is there a second?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other nominate,
Then
Any-
I'll,
Any
Nomin-
for chair, any other
for any other
nominations
nominations for chair?
for chair? Okay, then we'll take the roll call.
Well, I mean, if there's only one nomination, then by default.
I'm it.
okay. And
So,
then
for
I
chair-
nominate Bill as vice chair.
I'll second it.
Any other nominations?
No,
All right, and by default, guess what, guys?
okay.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna
Thank
need
you.
help.
All right, now we need the quasi-judicial announcement and the swearing in of anyone who's going to testify here tonight.
This is a quasi-judicial proceeding where the Heritage Preservation Board acts in a quasi-judicial rather than a legislative capacity. At a quasi-judicial hearing, it is not the board's function to make law, but rather to apply law that has already been established. In a quasi-judicial hearing, the board is required by law to make findings of fact based upon the evidence presented at the hearing and apply those findings of fact to previously established criteria contained in the Code of Ordinances in order to make a legal decision regarding the application before it. The board may only consider evidence at this hearing that the law considers competent, substantial, and relevant to the issues. If the competent, substantial, and relevant evidence at the hearing demonstrates that the applicant has met the criteria established in the Code of Ordinance, then the board is required by law to find in favor of the applicant. By the same token, if the competent, substantial, and relevant evidence at the hearing demonstrates that the applicant has failed to meet the criteria established in the Code of Ordinance, then the board is required by law to find against the applicant. Are there any members of the board wishing to disclose any ex parte communications or conflicts of interest this evening? Okay, seeing none, anyone wishing to speak this evening, if you could please stand and raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So sworn.
Okay. And now we're going to move to application 19-155, which is 303 Grand Boulevard for the replacement of the windows on a contributing structure. And Pat will go ahead and make that presentation.
Yes, I'll be sharing my screen.
What did she say?
All right, and this is application 20-155. This is for replacement of windows at 303 Grand Boulevard on a Craftsman-Style structure. And this is a request for replacement of 15 wood windows with vinyl windows. This is the location of the property on the corner of Grand and Reed Street. This is just a general look at the two street elevations of the property from Grand and from Reed Street. This is a Craftsman-Style stucco with wood accent string courses and pilasters and other accent features on the home. And what I'd like to do is go through each of the areas of the home where the windows exist and talk through each one. And then with the applicant, maybe we can kind of try to figure out together exactly what he's requesting and go from there.
Okay.
So the request is for replacement of 15 windows at the front. We have front-facing on Grand Boulevard on the east side. We have two windows facing the front. One has a stained glass upper sash, and the other up in the gable peak is a 4-light Craftsman window. On the south side, the Reed Street side, we have a total of 7 of the Craftsman windows. There are 2 triple sets, one along the street you see in the picture and one under the cover of the porch roof, which you'll see in a later picture. There's also a 3-paned leaded glass window. I don't believe that's proposed for replacement. And there's one in the upper gable. And then on the rear, which is the west side, we have 2 single windows, Craftsman-Style windows, and then another stained glass kind of accent. The applicant can maybe tell us, but that may have been a previous window enclosed with an accent on top. So I don't think that's proposed for replacement. And then on the north side, which is the side yard, we have 8 total windows, 5 of which are there between the 2 string courses along the middle. And then there's one in the upper gable peak, and then 2 kind of forward of that. You can see how this is an extending gable feature. So you've got 2 windows here, and then the ones along the side there, and then another one in the back here. So there's 8 windows there. So I came up with a total of 23 individual windows, 18 of which are the Craftsman-Style. And hopefully we can confirm with the applicant that the stained glass, leaded glass windows are not the ones proposed for replacement. There are 2 vinyl windows, small vinyl windows that apparently were put in at some point in the bathrooms, and those are not proposed for replacement either. The biggest question I have on the style, the proposed Craftsman-Style is consistent with the style of the home. I came up with 13 4/1 paned windows and 5 3/1. And on the replacements, I think with the product sheets, there are 13. There are only 2 4/1 replacements, and there are 13 3/1. So I'd like to get clarification on that. Otherwise, they're proposed size for size, and apparently the surrounding elements will be retained and maintained. The wood elements, including the string courses, there is hood molding on the top, the sills, the trim, and all that. The applicant didn't initially submit anything on the condition of the windows. What I've just handed you, and I emailed you earlier this afternoon, is some additional information the applicant's provided today, and the applicant is here to address the condition of the windows. I did take a couple of pictures when I was there. These show just a close-up of the windows on the porch. And then these show, I did find a little bit of wood rot from the outside and some chips and cracks in the panes. Of course, I did not see the insides of the windows. And this is the proposed replacement, the 4/1 and 3/1 Craftsman-Style single hung windows. The site file form does note existing windows to be double hung. I'm not sure, obviously I couldn't go inside, but I'm not sure that was correct. But either way, the look of the replacement windows will be the same. The applicant's proposing single hung windows. So these were the numbers I came up with, 13 4/1s and 5 3/1s, and the replacements proposed. So I'd like to get clarification on that. The applicant did not discuss whether the windows could be repaired or what other window products were considered, whether any type of cladded wood product was considered in lieu of the vinyl. The project meets the land development code and it's consistent with the comprehensive plan. Without the documentation of condition, I did recommend denial in the staff report, but we have more information this evening. So the board can maybe look at that, talk with the applicant. I would recommend 4 conditions if the board is in a position that they want to approve this. That would be to specify which windows are actually being replaced. Since there's 18 Craftsman and only 15 replacements, we'd like to know which ones are being replaced. To obtain the required permits, to leave the surrounding wood elements undisturbed except for maintenance and repair. And then I would recommend replacing the light style that's there with the new light style, but there may be a reason the applicant wants to change that. And with that, I'll be glad to leave this up if we need pictures when we're discussing the windows, but the staff report is complete and I'll answer any questions you might have.
Okay, would the applicant like to come forward, state your name, your address, for the record, speak clearly into the mic?
I sure will. Thank you very much. My name is Steve Odom, and the address of subject is 303 Grand Boulevard here in Tarpon Springs. Let me first begin by saying thank you, Patricia, for all the work you've done. I appreciate it very, very much. Just to give a little background to who I am, where I come from, I've been a pastor my whole career. 14 years I spent at First Baptist Church in Zephyr Hills, Florida, where I served on the Planning Commission. So I understand about the votes for chairmanship that I saw earlier. And I also served with a late friend of Robin Council, who headed up the Main Street Historical Program, which I was on the board with. So it's very important for me to maintain the historicity of the property. I did send Patricia, I think, a copy of the contract. And in that contract, it did have, as she reported, the 3-in-1s and the 4-in-1s. However, the person who wrote up the contract miscalculated which windows were 3/1s and 4/1s. And I have since talked to the company. It is New South Windows, located in Tampa. They're a manufacturer. You've probably seen their ads on television. They're on quite frequently. And the Craftsman-Style of 3/1 and 4/1, the panes and divisions, I've talked to the company and they say it's no problem, getting the right panes on the right windows. My goal to maintain the integrity and fenestration of the home. However, there's features that you cannot see. I sent some pictures this afternoon of the severe rot on a couple of the windows. And I also have windows that the clasps are broken. Only 3 of the windows on the inside will open. And the windows that we're looking at of replacing is a result of years of rot and decay. This summer was our first summer there. We bought this home as a second home. We're moving our business. We've had a family business with my 3 daughters and my wife, who's owner of the business. We're moving it back to Florida, and we're moving back to Florida so we can be with our children. All our children, grandchildren are in the Dade City, Ridge Manor area, except for one grandson who's away at college football up in North Dakota. And we learned when we moved here, when we came down here to do the initial view of the house, and then after the closing was done in July, we came down and stayed here for 2 weeks. And with the air conditioning on the inside, there is a tremendous amount of condensation on the inside of the windows every single morning. And obviously those windows, that water has to go somewhere, and it just drops right down to the bottom of where you saw that rot. And it's beginning almost on all of the windows, not near as severe as the 2 windows I took a picture of this afternoon. My biggest concern is not what you see, but what you don't see. Biggest concern is as the moisture seeps inside the walls, that there might be mold or mildew, which would be a hazard to the house. And that's just by sheer speculation and just the fact of how old the house is. The little utility windows that you had mentioned, those are bathroom windows. If you could go back to picture number, I think it's 13 of the north side of the windows. I would like to explain a little something that's going on there. And it's turning one of the little small bathroom windows. Right there.
Would it be this one?
Yes. If
Okay.
you look at the 5 windows below the gable, you'll see the middle window right there. I did not even know this until I went out and looked at this and really paid close attention. This bathroom has been remodeled. In fact, the whole house was remodeled in 2011. And I sent 2 pictures of the bathrooms, the old and the new. And the old bathroom had the normal size windows you see on the outside, but they blocked off the all of that window and the frame to accommodate that real small window at the top. And all of the windows, well, not all of them have screens on them. Some of them have broken or off. Were all handmade by a previous owner, so they were not original to the house. The windows that we're looking at actually replacing are 15 windows. Not either of the 3 of the gable windows we are going to leave intact. Also, we're going to leave intact all the stained glass windows and only interested in replacing the interior or exterior, windows that are the Craftsman-Style. The other thing that was of question with Patricia was single hung versus double hung. Those are definitely single hung windows. If you know the difference between the two, a double hung window, both bottom pane and top pane will open. That is not the case with these windows. Only the bottom pane will open. So they are single hung windows. And I believe that over half of the windows are compromised severely. Again, you can't open all of them. And according to page 33 of the manual, sections 2 and 3, it does state that you can replace the windows with wood, aluminum, not raw aluminum, but aluminum or vinyl. So therefore, we're asking if we could replace those windows, keep the integrity of the Craftsman-Style, less the windows that I mentioned previously. Are there any questions that any of you might have? Something maybe I did not quite allude to?
Pat, do you need clarifications on how many windows are being replaced, or of the 4/1 versus the 3/1? Isn't that what you asked for?
Yeah.
It sounds like the proposal now would be modified or would be
Yes.
to replace all, but there are 3 windows that are in the gable peaks. One,
Yeah, the
on
3 in
the
the gable
sides, and
peak are gonna stay just like they are, and they are 4/1s, I believe.
right, so that leaves 15 Craftsman windows,
Okay.
which is what the application is for. And if the applicant, I believe you said that you do intend to replace like for like on the.
Yes,
the
10
style.
of the windows are 4/1s, and 5 of them are 3/1s.
Okay. I know you supplied the additional photos, but in what it came through on my email, mine are black and I can't see them.
Oh,
So I can't tell about the damage.
okay.
And so it would be, unless Pat's got a clear copy for me to look at, I would not be able to.
Yeah, what I just handed out
Okay,
It's in
is a
there.
printout of those pictures, so
okay, let me find it.
let me make sure they print.
I got it.
I also have them in color on my phone.
No,
I should
it's
have
my printer at
number.
home. It just,
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
I've got a couple questions.
Yes,
Okay, one is the latches. You're saying that the latches are damaged, so you're replacing the windows for that, or?
no, not for
Okay.
that.
Is
That
the-
was just a general
Okay, that's
information.
just a general?
Right.
Okay, out of the 15 that you have, okay, is it the sashes themselves are damaged, or is there damage to the window frame?
There's damage to the window frame. There's also the sash cords. Some of the cords are severed.
Let's not, of course, okay, but I'm talking about wood.
The wood, yes, sir. Some of the wood on the interior is rotten.
On the interior of the windows?
Yes.
Okay.
yes, the last 2 photographs in the handout I just gave you
Okay. I didn't see
are
those.
pictures of that.
I saw that.
Okay.
You have another question?
Oh, I got a few. You go ahead.
No, you go ahead. That's
To
fine.
replace the ropes and the weights, if that's all that's wrong, that's kind of a simple procedure.
Well, that could be. I'd be interested in if we went, that route. I know it costs more money. In fact, it'd be a considerable amount of money there's a company in Orlando, Florida that restores sash windows.
Oh,
Um,
it costs more to repair than replace?
It would basically be replacing all the frames and the wood frames.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just the decay in the inside is almost on every window, not near as significant as the one that I showed you or took a picture of, but
Right.
that's,
Yeah, because I know the two houses that are directly across from me on the alley. They took out every window, repaired them and put every window back in.
okay. They're in that same historical district or just in general? Springs.
Yeah, they're in the historical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think
Yep.
I've seen a couple of the historical homes in that area that do have some vinyl windows. I don't know if that's
yeah.
absolute truth or not, but
It took a long time to get those windows, but
Yeah.
it was done, and they're the Craftsman, the fourth.
Craftsman-Style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, on the new Craftsman-Style, of course, that little strip for the 4 is made out of wood. Is that gonna look the same on the vinyl window?
From the pictures that I have seen, they look the same.
It does?
Okay, well,
It's
let's,
like raised, it's not just a
Well-
strip?
Those windows are double paned windows,
correct.
Uh-huh,
and the dividers would be inside that double pane.
Okay.
oh,
That's a
okay.
problem.
Oh, is that how it goes? Oh.
Yeah, that's a between the glass
Yeah.
mullion, which is generally, well, I'll just say, not as consistent.
It is.
That was a question I had in the staff report.
And also,
but
if
that's
at
good
all
information
possible,
to
we
know.
should repair instead of replace
Mhm.
according to the guidelines.
Right.
Also wanted to know about, and maybe changing the window structure up, what you were talking about. This is going to create a mix of window materials. It's different. It's not all going to be consistent. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
Okay. And that's a concern.
You
And
have a beautiful home,
well, it is a beautiful home, and
and I love your front porch.
everybody says that.
I just love your
Very
railings.
nice.
I'll just share this too. I'm not going to be disappointed if you say no for 2 reasons. One, obviously the vinyl windows is a less expensive route to go.
Mhm.
But 2, it will, to be honest, if you go back to the vinyl windows, the framing of the window will be 1.5 inches bigger than the existing frame.
Mhm.
So I understand that probably would be an issue as well.
Well, a bigger, well, that's an issue definitely, but having the mullions or the spacing between the windows, that's an issue.
Okay,
Okay, you guys can look on 132.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the ones that say generally not appropriate.
Right.
And what it does is if you're looking at the glass, it's a lot of it's reflected light.
correct.
So you have the mullions in there, but if you look at the glass is all one piece.
Correct.
So that's deviating quite a bit.
Yeah.
you know.
And the other issue, I don't know if I said this, but it would decrease the value of the home.
It would decrease the value.
by putting vinyl windows in there.
How do you know
For
that?
who?
Huh?
How
It
did
would only increase,
It would decrease the
decrease
value.
the value?
decrease.
Yeah.
And I ask you, how did you know that? Did a contractor tell you it would decrease the value, or is that?
I have looked at many of YouTube videos,
Okay,
Uh-huh.
and since this process is already in the process, I wanted to go through it,
right.
not to waste your time, but to get if you vote no, to get it documented so I can get my deposit back.
Yeah.
That would be the reason that I would.
Well, I have a suggestion. Instead of taking a vote and voting it down and then you having to go back and redo your package, well, you could, if you wanted to, withdraw it, get some more information, do some more research on it, and get with Pat and find out what you can do what other options are available to you. Plus, you may have a full board the next meeting.
Yeah,
and have
I
more
figured
people.
that tonight when
Pardon?
when two of them didn't show up tonight, I figured there would
Right,
not be
so it's up to you. I mean, we could vote, but my concern would be that you may get a denial and that you may have to redo your whole package again. And I know this was time consuming for you and what you did. So,
Well, I'm retired now. I wouldn't want to be time consuming for Pat.
So,
I really appreciate what she's done.
Pat's always awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
So,
good.
yeah, the city does a good job.
My concern is to get my deposit back.
Okay, so you would prefer it to be denied so you can get your deposit back and then move forward?
And then resubmit
Okay.
for authentic windows or repaired.
Okay, so are you asking me to go ahead and let's take a vote on this?
I would.
Okay, thank you. All right, do we have a motion on this
Oh, well,
application? Or do you have another
Um,
question?
no,
Okay.
he answered it. Okay. I make a motion on application 2155 to deny the request.
Do we have a second? Second, and roll call.
Mr. Sprecher,
Yes.
Ms. Hallett,
Yes, oh, yes.
Ms. Milford.
Yes, and the motion is denied.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. Again, as we went through this process, I knew it was already, application was put in. And after doing my research, I figured it would get denied. And I appreciate you going through the motions with that and allowing me to present that to the company to get
Well,
$3,000 back in my pocket.
Well, we
Right.
appreciate your honesty and
Right.
your input on this as well.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
I just hope you can find someone who
If you talk-
repair them.
There is a person in Kissimmee area that does wood sash window repairs.
Wow.
If you, one of my, I just want to tell you this, that the new windows you were proposing was the ones that really hurt you. Because they, like I say, with the mullions on the inside, we can't have that,
Right,
so
right.
that should help you.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
All righty, well,
All
thank you
right.
very much.
Okay.
Pat, if you need anything, give me a call. Likewise, I'll probably get back with you in the future.
Okay. And you'll be receiving a letter with tonight's action that you
Okay.
can,
Thank
you can
you.
have it in writing.
Thank you.
Thank
Uh-huh.
you. All right, let's move to Resolution 2021-03, the adoption of the Tarpon Springs Historical District Review Guideline, the manual. Does anybody have a motion on this one? Do you want to go over some of the questions? Did you see anything that needed to be corrected?
I didn't see, I went through,
No, I think it's
I thought it
fabulous.
was fairly well done.
I thought it
Okay.
was too. I like the
Yeah.
sections where they have blocked off, where it tells you
Appropriate, not
appropriate,
Yeah,
not
that helps a lot.
appropriate, and best options, middle options. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
All of it was well done.
Mhm.
So do we have a motion on this one?
Well, I'll make a motion
Okay,
to adopt Resolution 2021-03 to adopt the Tarpon Spring Historic District Design Review Guidelines Manual as presented.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second that.
And roll call, please.
Mr. Sprecher,
Yes.
Ms. Hallett,
Yes.
Ms. Milford,
Yes. And the motion is approved. Do we have
And-
staff comments?
Yes, I just want to say thank you very much for all your work and sticking through the process on that document that we did during the virus time, basically.
It was wonderful.
So your recommendation will go to the Board of Commissioners on February 9th. And I don't know if you noticed, but we've structured the resolution so that Chapter 4, which is the actual guidelines, any changes to that chapter would come to you first. You would recommend to the board, give your recommendation to the board, and then they would adopt it.
I
Any
read
other
that.
changes like added maps or updated links or updated architectural, we'll just bring to you for you to review and approve or have comments. So that's kind of the way it's structured. So hopefully it'll be, a document we can keep up to date. And I hope, if anyone wants to come on February 9th, that's when we've set it for the board to adopt it. And it's a great project and just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you.
Long time.
All right, do we have any board comments? Either one of you?
No.
I have one comment, and I just wanted to tell you, I appreciate all the work you did on this. And I'm assuming that all of the photos were corrected.
Oh,
and-
yes.
Yeah, because I saw that in the email, and I did see where it would come back to the board, and we would make recommendations to the BOC. It looked really good, and I really appreciated everything that you've done.
Thank you.
And I will call the meeting adjourned at 7:07 PM.
Thank you.
This is gonna be a lot longer.
All right,
Congratulations
thank you.
to the
Yeah,
chairman and the
congratulations to
vice
you.
chairman. Congratulations.